All
right, last part.
This is everybody's favorite part. It's chemistry. That's a lie. No one likes chemistry. But just okay. While our pool is new, we've got to get some chlorine into it. When did the water go in this pool? It's a hose fill.
Couple
so the
days.
last few days.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow or the next day, go get a little bucket of chlorine tablets.
Okay.
Okay. And all you're gonna do is put 2 tablets in each skimmer basket.
Okay.
Those tablets usually last about 5 days, and when they wear down, replace them.
2 more. 2 more, 2 at a time.
Now, we're trying to get our chlorine levels up to 3 parts per million.
Okay.
Okay. If this became Kid Central, you would run it at 5 parts per million.
Okay.
If you had middle school boys, you would be at 10 parts per million because they believe every time they get in the pool, they're taking a bath. And so you better make it work. Now, 3 parts per million. If for some reason we're running it and all of a sudden our chlorine levels start getting high, stop adding chlorine.
Okay.
It's that easy. Just maybe you might find that only 2 tablets in 1 skimmer keeps us right where we believe, where we need to be. No big deal. Now, another term we've heard about on swimming pools is the term called shocking a pool. Shocking a pool is the process of superchlorination using a real unstable form of chlorine to kill off stuff our regular tablets, our regular saturation chlorine doesn't get. When do we shock our pool? We never shock our pool before the party. Why would you put an aggressive chemical in unless you think everybody's way too vivid? You know, I'll bleach some of that shininess right off you, sister. No, we wait till afterwards.
Okay.
Now, reasons to shock our pool. A, you wander out and the pool looks kind of grimy.
Okay.
B, and this is not grimy. This is just brand new. We're not allowed to get a bunch of chlorine in a brand new pool.
Yeah.
B, we'll have a mental head count. Like 2 weeks ago, I had 25 people here. Last weekend, I had 15 people here, but my cousin Jimmy came down from New Jersey and sat over there and had 700 beers and never got out. And that nice family from up the street, you know, the one with the super weird kid, was over in front of one of those jets a little too long and wanted to shock my pool. It's Sunday night.
Yeah.
We know our pump normally turns off at 6.
Yep.
I wander out, I turn the pump on so it's circulating. 1.5 pounds of calcium hypochlorite shock comes in the 1 pound bags. Cut it off, and we sprinkle it across the surface of the pool like we're planting grass seed.
Okay.
And then we pinch another bag in half and cut the top off of that and put the other half in there.
It's 1.5.
1.5 pounds.
All right.
If we see piles of shock on the floor, maybe brush it around to help mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
But more importantly, we do it at night for a number of good reasons, because we're already done with the day.
Yep.
We're gonna shock it, pump running, we're gonna go to bed. We do it at night for 3 primary reasons. A, no one's in the pool getting bleached. B, you're not standing around a pool smelling a bunch of chlorine gas out.
Yeah.
And C, there's no burden from sunshine. Sunshine extracts chlorine from pools.
Okay.
So that's why we do it at night. Nice thing about shocking your pool at night is the next morning when you wake up, there's gonna be a layer of crud in the bottom of the pool. Brush the pool.
Brush it.
Here's what happens at my pool. About every 3 weeks, I find myself shocking my pool. Following day, I brush it. And then it's over that following week when I notice the pressure on my filter starts climbing. Backwash. So one kind of triggers the next to the next.
Okay.
That's all there is to it. But now we're getting to the most important thing on a pool, and that's pH, that little P, that big H.
Okay.
What does it stand for? Nobody remembers. It's potential hydrogen. I had to look it up myself. Okay. Let's test our water, and I want you to test every day, because I can assure you, the pH will want to climb.
Okay.
Test strips hand you the handle, and they line up like this. Top one's pH, next one's chlorine. I don't care about these right now. When the time comes, I want to have a better test kit. And then that way we can be really more accurate about other things.
Okay.
But for right now, here I am at the deep end. I'm always going to reach a foot below the surface. Go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. If I had any questions about the color, I would just give it 10 seconds in the open air to completely gas out.
All right.
Well, look, we're supposed to be down there at that dark orange.
Yeah.
Well, if 8.4 is too high, currently we're off the charts.
Okay.
We need to push our pH down, and we're going to use muriatic acid.
All right.
I'm going to show you how to handle it. Here I am at the deep end.
Yep.
I reach out and away from me, and you can see that it's a lot heavier than water.
Oh yeah.
I do it here at the deep end, so it's and I'm not splashing around because I have it down in the water.
Yeah.
And by the time it makes it down to that drain, it's already well diluted, so it gets sucked up and shot all over the pool.
All right.
Well, you're going to be adding whole gallons. Like, let's say one day, tomorrow you come out and the pH is a little high. I want you to hit with a whole gallon. It might go low, but in a couple days, it's going to come right back up.
Okay.
But after that, the pH will only be a little high, and maybe half a gallon's all you need, because you're just really pretty close. And I just want to keep it down that 6.872 range.
Okay.
That's how I do half a gallon. I float the bottle.
Yeah.
It's a pool. Again, close-ish is goodish. So that's it. And I'm going to put this whole thing in. You'll find old-fashioned pool guys that swear you're supposed to walk along pouring it in.
Yeah.
You'll notice the pool decks on the pools they work on all look bad because they've been splashing this thing all over the place onto the deck. Don't do that to yourself. Just do it this way.
Okay.
Always rinse the bottle out when I'm done. Put this in. Guys, this is a white plastic pool. It is going to be reacting, and by reacting, forcing the pH decline all this summer.
Okay.
I also want to let you know, over the winter time when this pool is closed,
Yeah.
once a month, you're going to flip your cover open down here at the deep end. You're going to take a bucket of water, big bucket of water, and pour in half a gallon of acid and pour it in.
Okay.
You're going to do it once a month over the winter.
Okay.
Brand new plaster pools have a propensity towards scaling over the winter. This is the way you're going to fight it. Do it on nice days. Don't go out there when it's freezing cold or there's a foot of snow. Do it when it's nice. We normally get like one good day a month.
Yeah.
Now, here's why pH is the most important
Do we
thing.
do that though every year, or just while it's
If
still
you can
new?
remember to do it every year,
Yeah.
you'll be very happy.
Okay. All
It
right.
really helps. Now, here's my lecture on pH.
Okay.
Why pH is important. At a pH of 7.0 to 7.5, what we call neutral,
Okay.
chlorine's virtually 100% effective against things like staph, cryptosporidium, Garda, COVID-19, algae, and a myriad of viral and bacteriological baddies.
Okay.
But if we slide up the scale a little bit to a pH of 8, just kind of on the high side, the first thing offline is our chlorine. Our chlorine is no longer sanitizing the water. It's less than 10% effective at killing pathogens. At a pH of 8, if we're really good at ignoring our pool, we're going to go into a condition called scaling. It's where the calcium leaches out of the plaster, turns into sharp little frosted flakes, and re-embeds itself all over the interior of the pool.
Lovely.
At a pH of 8, the guts of your filter get brittle and fall apart.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Ultimately, you're going to be making your chlorine out of salt. Sodium chloride, just use electrolysis to crack that gas out of there and sanitize the water. We all know that salt is corrosive. If we've ever been to the beach, we see what happens. Salt's natural pH is 8.3.
Okay.
So truly, left unchecked and unaddressed, salt is counterproductive to the health of the water, health of the fish, and health of the equipment. Now, here's some things to be glad about. Eventually, the plaster's going to stop bouncing around. You're going to get the salt in here, and you're going to learn to adjust for it. See all those evergreens your neighbors have?
Yeah.
Those are naturally acidic. Mother Nature might help keep that pH down for you.
Good.
So you are not adding as much acid. But when we have a salt system on our pool, we want to test our water twice a week. We're going to use those tubes like you used to see lifeguards with.
Yeah.
One tube gets 5 drops of OTO and it shows us what our chlorine levels are. The other tube gets 5 drops of phenyl red. It shows us what our pH is. And because we're going to have salt in there, it'll tend to be a little pinkish.
Okay.
There'll be a drop in that kit called the acid demand test. And on the pink tube, you put a drop in and a swizzle, and let's say for conversation's sake, it took 2 drops and a swizzle and went from pink to clear. Well, there's going to be a chart in there, and it's going to say for 25,000 gallons, because it's usually in, 5,000, up to 10,000, it's 1,000 gallons a piece, and then it's, 5,000 gallons a piece. 25,000 gallons, it might ask for, let's say it's 3 pints, 14 ounces of acid. Okay. Well, 2 pints is a quart. 4 pints is half a gallon. Pour a half gallon in.
Okay.
Okay.
right.
Learned how to do that. But it might ask for just like 16 ounces of acid. You know, just a little bit. Every good pool owner needs to own a 2-cup measuring cup from the dollar store, plastic cup.
Okay.
And what you'll do is you'll pour in exactly the right amount of acid, rinse your cup off. If there's any dribbles on the bottle, make sure you rinse the bottle off before you put it down,
Okay.
so that we don't burn a ring from where our acid was.
Yep.
But it was pH that made the water feel good, because it's pH that irritates our eyes and our skin. It's not the chlorine.
Yeah.
It's pH to make sure our chlorine is working effectively so we stay safe.
Okay. So
Okay.
pH is really important.
pH is the most important.
Gotcha.
And it's chlorine, because as long as we have a good level of that in our water, we're in great shape and we're staying safe.
Okay.
And then, as long as our filter's looking good and we keep our filter in good shape and we don't let it get too wadded up, and remember to always add DE, our water will be absolutely sparkly.
All right.
pH, chlorine, how's the filter? That was pool school.
All right. And then, 2 tablets always, unless we think 2 tablets are too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless we start seeing the chlorine levels come up too high,
Okay, and then lower.
then it's an adjustment.
Adjust it.
Chlorine is variable simply by a bather load, sunshine, and the absorptive characteristics of your water.
Okay.
So, you know, we don't know how much, you know, some pools suck down chlorine like crazy. In 2 weeks, I want you to get your water, you know, not this weekend, but the next weekend, I want you to go get your water professionally tested.
Yep.
Absolutely take a picture of that test and text me the results.
Okay.
Let's have a 5-minute conversation to figure out what the guy at the pool store says, because let me tell you, this is a fact. There's 3 people standing behind every counter at a pool store.
Yeah.
Someone who knows their stuff and has your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Someone who knows their stuff and found out they get paid 75 cents for every bottle of slop they sell, so they have their best interest at heart. And more often, and vastly more prevalent nowadays, you will find the suburban dunderhead who's been taste testing everything in the store. So, you know,
All right.
so that's it.